Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Yoniswell Surf Collective Experience podcast. My name is Jordan Otten. I'm the founder of Yoniswell Surf Collective. Who we are a community of women surfers on a mission to empower and heal our soul through the sport of surfing. We welcome all levels of surfers to join our community, and we do cultivate the beginner surfer experience. It starts with the desire to surf. Yoniswell Surf Collective creates a supportive space for you to elevate your surf skills, regardless of where you are, to welcome in healing and empowerment through the sport of surfing, through your surfing journey. Today, we are welcoming Marissa Jedell. She has been surfing for over 20 years. She has been to over 40 countries in search of epic surf experiences and to improve her surfing. She has also learned how to cook the cuisines of the places she has traveled. She incorporates these recipes into her wellness workshops and retreats. Marissa also is a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and chef, and has some fun employee wellness programs with nutrition counseling or cooking workshops. Marissa coached surfing of different levels while living in Los Angeles and has now been residing in Leucadia since 2020. She knows the area and is available to teach with Yoniswell Surf Collective in Los Angeles as well. And we welcome her today. So thank you, Marissa, for joining us.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks so much for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited to chat with you, to hear your story. And our goal in having you as our guest today on this podcast is to share your experience with our community for various reasons. And also because your story is very relatable to many of our listeners. Can you talk a little bit about your experience, your surfing journey, and how you got here today?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to. I'm from New York City, so I started surfing in New York, and it's really, really hard to get some consistent waves there. So progressing is not something I saw for a long time. But it took going outside of New York, of my area, to start getting, better at surfing. And I realized that, I can't live on vacation all the time. So I would, continue to surf and try my best to learn on my own. I didn't have anyone showing me, and there was no forecasting, and I would show up with, terrible waves all the time. And definitely was the only woman I saw out there for a very, very long time too. But with the travel, I was able to progress enough to, sink my teeth into some waves finally. And that was amazing. But what happened was I had like a long period of pain in my body, and it was like kind of mysterious. And I had to go on a journey of learning about that. And I wasn't able to surf, and it took a really long time. So I learned a lot about those sorts of things. And once I got my pain under control, that's when I was like, okay, I'm either learning to surf now for real, or I got to pick something else. Cause being a buoy out there, as we call it, and not catching waves it is nice out there, but I really want some waves. I really want to try the surfing thing. And I would watch my friends who are like more sporty than me or whatever, or more just able to learn faster, and they picked it up pretty quickly. And I was like so jealous. I couldn't understand why I can't just like pick it up the way they would pick it up, even though it's really, really, really hard. It's one of the hardest sports. So I tried to have a lot of patience, but I just didn't. I was thinking maybe it's not for me. And then I after traveling a little bit, I got that bug, and I became kind of addicted to surf travel. And I wanted to learn the cooking aspect of different cultures that way, like firsthand. So I used to rent out my apartment in New York and I traveled a lot, and that's how I was able to, really learn about surfing and really get some help, like get some guidance, go to some surf camps, get finally some pointers.
How
Yeah.
many, may I ask you a question? How many years were you in when you were at the point of, maybe it's not for me, like you were in that doubtful
12.
stage? Okay. Yeah.
12 years. I was like 10 to 12 years. I didn't catch any waves, and I didn't get to go very often. And living in New York, it was just like summertime here and there, kind of thing. So it was really hard. And then I ended up getting like a summer share house out in Montauk, and that was when I could go the most consistently. Then I realized, okay, maybe I want to rent my place out for longer, and put like a minimum on my Airbnb for 3 months and go really go learn. And then at that point I had to give up some of my clients to do that. So I've for many years like totally transitioned my life to full surfer mode, pretty hardcore, like more than anyone could imagine, to do this thing. And then I realized that I should probably give California a shot. You can't travel forever. So when that was, coming to a close, so to speak, I was like, I need to maybe consider moving to California because my sister lives there, and it's not moving. Besides moving out of the country, I think it's the best thing to do for my surfing. So yeah, I moved to California, and it wasn't easy at all. And I gave up a lot to do that, like a real lot. And I'm really happy I did that. And I definitely don't regret it. And after traveling so much, I kind of learned how to be my own coach too, and push myself. Like I have a lot of friends who won't go to the really gnarly breaks where there's the crowd is thick, or it's all pros, or it's, just like so above my level. But I make myself go to those places and learn, and it's really uncomfortable for sometimes years, until like literally years, until I really get waves at some of these places. But when you have these breakthroughs after so long, it's just like totally what I'm passionate about. I'm just like this older lady from New York City, a slightly older lady from New York City who is so proud of her surfing. And I would never, ever like imagine that I could get to this level. And it doesn't come from like an egotistical way. It's just that I never thought I was going to be able to shortboard, get to that point. And I'm doing that plus and then some. So my progression has gotten, and I've learned how to like kind of cheat almost in, when you go on a surf trip where it's like a whole week or maybe 2 weeks long, or maybe 4 weeks, whatever you can afford to do. Those are, you really excel at like a retreats, and condensed like surfing time is where it's at for progression. I mean, it's like you'll be totally different at the end of that. And so I'm a big fan of those when you can get them. And sometimes you can get them right at home here in California. And sometimes you need to spend extra money and go other places. So I have surfed at the surf ranch a few times now, and I know it's like this world famous, very, very expensive place to go, but it has been like such an amazing jump in progression. I totally understand the training ground that it is now. And so I'm really passionate about bringing ladies to the surf ranch, because it's like really good vibes when I have that. And people who, ladies who are interested in progressing, like who are where I am, who are in the same area I am in my level and wanting to progress. So it's like kind of one of those places where you can jump ahead a lot of notches. Not that it's the only place in the world, but it is like just a big boost.
So tell us about what your goals are currently with that. So you're progressing with your own surfing journey always, obviously, but you're coaching as well. But specifically, like, tell us more about, you're going to the ranch soon and other types of experiences that you're cultivating within your surfing journey umbrella?
Yeah. So I did a lot of coaching, and it was for men and women in all different levels in LA. And now I realize, just after a few events that I've done and without taking up too much time, I realized that women coming together is really powerful. I mean, I think men are awesome, but when women come together, just like some extra fireworks go off, and the ladies just like make so much happen, even just from bringing them together, like not even doing much. So I think it's amazing. And then I realized that I do want to continue coaching down here where I live. I would really like it to be for ladies who are interested in progressing, and it doesn't matter what level they are at, but they just want to get better. And it could be a very little bit, it could be a lot, whatever, wherever they are at. I think that we're all in different, I've been in so many different stages with my learning. So yeah, I think my goal is to bring ladies there for a special, well-rounded retreat experience at the surf ranch, and also in my area, and possibly internationally by this year. So we can kind of all get together, build a really strong foundation for surf progression, and get together and have that vortex of meeting these awesome ladies that have something in common, and who are sharing the health and wellness retreat weekend or day or week, whatever it may be. So my goals are to keep surfing at the surf ranch at least once a year, so that I can progress. And I hope to bring continue to bring ladies who are interested the same. So this special ladies coaching that I have coming up in a couple weeks, which we do have 2 spots available. If you're interested, I can let you know more about it. But we are going to be with a female coach there that is amazing. It is like the best coaching, and also to get that type of coaching at a wave like that. There are different wave profiles, so you can work on your turns only if you want to, that you can work on getting the whole rhythm down for getting turns, and then also getting the couple barrels that are in just one of these crazy waves. It's really tailored to helping you progress the best you can, and they're right there with you to help, like, push you if you need all the whatever you need is there, and it's an accelerated progression experience. So I'm super stoked about that, and I've been working on it for a long time. So to keep it all ladies is I just I couldn't be more stoked. So it's just everything's lining up for my own retreats and my retreats within Surf Ranch and my own personal surf goals. And I have been meeting amazing ladies like yourself in the process. And I'm, knock on wood or whatever. I am so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I've met you as well. And I'm excited about the different projects that we've talked about bringing into Yoniswell. But I'm definitely it's on my list to go to the ranch with you one of these days. So that's definitely on my goal list. I would love to experience that. And I totally relate to everything you're saying. When you do bring women together, there's just this synergy of support and empowerment. And I feel like it taps into a different part of ourselves that we're not accessing, that makes us either more confident or believe in ourselves more, and you really genuinely are supporting and rooting for those others that are within that same space with you. And it's such a powerful force. Like in the surf community, I witness it all the time myself, but also I remember directing a film, and we only what did we do? We only hired at that time an all-female crew. And it was really interesting to just see that, to witness that dynamic on set. Again, I agree. Like I love men too. I welcome in the co-ed experiences, absolutely, in life, in Yoniswell, in the whole experience. Some of our retreats are open to co-ed because it comes down to balance. But yeah, there's just something so empowering, especially when you have a specific goal or a specific type of connection that you're looking for, and you bring all women together, all working on that their own goal. And it's a really beautiful synergy and experience that takes place. So I relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my next question to you would be, like we were talking offline, I'll integrate this. We were talking about Pisces energy. And I was talking about how I have to force myself to create a plan or to write down the steps to have a plan, which is that's Virgo energy. And that's something that I, in many ways, I'm really good at, but in many ways I'm not. And I want to go with the flow, which is Pisces, the opposite to Virgo. So Pisces in that regard is the ocean, where you're floating in the ocean and there are no boundaries, and you are completely connected to source, completely connected to this infinite source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. And actually, this is coming up for me right now. Like when you catch the ultimate wave, or just a wave, where you are so succinctly connected, that is the true connection to source, or to yourself, like to your higher self, to your cosmic self. And yeah, I'm just bringing it back to Pisces energy and the connection that can be cultivated and created in the ocean that leads to healing, or as if you're returning to the source, to yourself, right? So can you speak into your own experience, perhaps your healing, your experience with the ocean, healing, empowerment, and the challenges that you faced, right? Maybe talk about your whole progression in that regard as well.
Sure. Yeah. Well, when I started getting my, having less and less pain, after that time, I was, slowly getting my body back. It didn't just like happen all at once. So it was like really uncertain whether it was a good idea to start surfing, a lot or not. So, and I would just have to I would do it, I was still living in New York. So I was doing the travel thing at that time. So I was just getting these short bursts of travel, like progression time. But it was like, I was starting to learn that movement is good, even if you have like a problem with your body pain. Sometimes movement, a lot of times it seems movement is actually good. And maybe you think that you need to like not move and hang out, and but sometimes it's not a bad idea to think about movement as a way of helping. So I think it helped me a lot to let go of some of the pain mentally too, in a way, and then go full commitment. I was like, this might take forever, but I want to learn to surf now. So I think that it takes a lot of patience, and I have, I think there's forever, you can always get better. That's how I think. Some people, it seems like they plateau and they don't really mind staying where they are. And I think that is totally fine. And if you want to progress a lot more and you want to get after it in a serious way, that's also fine. I think it's great to honor where you are. And even if we all come together for a retreat or a weekend or a workshop, that it's totally cool to be in different places in your surfing too. And different people want it differently. And it takes a lot of sacrifice sometimes to get better at a sport. So I think, having a lot of patience, and if you can get in alignment with a little bit of guidance from someone who knows what they're doing, and teach you a little bit about etiquette, having some patience with yourself and with other people, because it's, you know, I hate when people get overwhelmed when I hear about anybody in their surfing journey getting overwhelmed, or maybe somebody came close to their face with their board, and like things that are scary. Maybe they hit their own board, you know, in their face one time. You know, it's like, you know, it's not, it's still a sport, and you have to be careful of things. But I think with a little guidance and a little help from some people at the, you know, and being patient with yourself, you can learn something about etiquette, instead of like just learning through observation. You know what I mean? Because it can be really confusing, and I think it could take longer to learn, you know, how to get respect out there. And people really read us as other people in the water. We read each other so much. I mean, it's like really amazing. They can tell if you aren't going to take off, you know, super confidently. Not that they're perfect at reading everybody all the time, but they can read and notice things about how you duck dive out there and how you hold yourself out there. And, you know, they will, maybe people are snaking you constantly. Maybe there's something to learn there. Maybe there's a few people being just 100% jerks. Yeah, totally. There's totally some crazy people out there. I don't want to use that word crazy, but you know, there's some people who have a short fuse with surfing. And I think that with being a woman and being in a man's sport out there, even though there's a lot more of us now and all that really, really good stuff, and women are doing really well in surfing, I think that there's a lot to share amongst this community. Just to talk out. I literally needed to talk it out when I first moved to California. So I needed to like have basically a surf therapist for a little bit. I was like, I don't understand. How do you get waves? I think I can surf, but no one's giving me any. And like, I just needed to learn so much. And I had to start paying attention to my friends that were doing it in a nice way and not doing it like those those people that seem like they lost their mind. And you know, they want to kill you with their surfboard. Like those people, yeah, you just strongly avoid those people, and then you do it like as well as you can. Just like driving, if you drive like a total jerk all over the place, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be stressful, and you're not gonna get the respect that you maybe want. So I think that with a little bit of tips here and there along your journey, and keeping it all in check, it could feel less overwhelming, and you can have better tools for like understanding a little bit about what goes on out there. Because I think especially for beginners, it has got to be so overwhelming to think about, to see all these people all over the place out there and to understand how it works. I can only imagine. So
that would be my next question, which is, what is the tangible advice you would give, number one, a beginner surfer in Los Angeles?
I would say, you know, definitely get either a lesson, you know, if you've never surfed before, definitely get a lesson and get a few of the tools, you know, to get out there and not just be flailing around, and have like some control of your board. There's a few things you can do to practice that. And I would say to hop on YouTube and watch beginner surf videos as much as possible. Break it down, you know, maybe a little bit each day or a couple times a week, whatever it is, but get it in there. And the more you watch, I think it helps a lot to get the foundation of how it works. And then, you know, watch ones on etiquette also, and watch some on duck diving, and continue to go out there with some friends, you know, maybe if you have some friends that are a little better than you, and get some lessons at least here and there. But the more consistent, the better. I mean, that is why I coach now. I really am passionate about it, because it's so unfortunate that I didn't do that earlier. I really wish I did. I know that coaching helps people, but I didn't I just I didn't live in a place where that was like a possibility, really. So if you live in California and you live somewhere where you can have some coaching, yeah, I think it can make a big difference in how you feel confident to go out there, because it's not easy. It's really not easy. And with a little bit of technique, you're going to be so much less overwhelmed and less scared, and you'll have stuff to work on. And there is something to work on every single time for the rest of your life. For every time you go out there, you can learn something about your surfing, or about duck diving, or catching waves, like, or with a new equipment, or a new board to try. It's really fun when you get to a point where you can try different boards, but use the right board at the right time for your level, and make sure you get waves. If you're not getting waves, then you just need to put more foam underneath you and work on it a little bit more. I've done that a lot of times where I've bought boards and then I've been like, okay, that's nice. Maybe I'll be able to get to this board a little later. Actually, I'm going to need to beef it up and put some more foam into this, and then come back to this board. So be patient with yourself for all the steps, even buying equipment. It's taken me a long time, even just to learn what it is that I want and need. I mean, yeah. And if we can have a community of ladies helping each other with these questions and like these different stages of progression, it's just everything I've always wanted and didn't have. So yeah, that would be really cool to like have that for other people at least. And I have that now for myself, but yeah.
I was just gonna say, I got some chills when you said, or that just really resonated with me when you said, it's everything I wanted, but I didn't have. And then you followed up with, and now I do, or like, now that's what I'm creating now, or now that's what I'm experiencing now. That was really beautiful.
Thanks. Cause I've been trying to find a coach, and, like, I've selected them, by the fact that I know how they surf and who they are. And I've asked them to be my coach, and they happen to be all men because that's who they are. But, I mean, I would love a female coach, but I approached these men because I like their coaching abilities and all that, and their surf abilities. And every time it hasn't worked out. And I'm like, okay, it must be really hard to get a coach who's committed to being your coach. And maybe I have to look for a lady now. And then I have been during that process, I've turned to surf ranch experiences for my progression, because I did not ever find that coach for me right now, where I am at my level and my location. And that has been my coaching time, and it is good, but I do also want a coach. And I think that you could be coached forever. I mean, the pros, the top female and male pros of this world have coaches, and so I don't think you can ever overdo coaching, or accelerated surfing experiences. So that's what I'm all about. And yeah,
Now you're leading experiences at the surf ranch. So tell us, you said the next one is in 2 weeks, but I believe you have one after that. So what are the dates that you are going there?
Yeah, so February 21st and 22nd. That is the all ladies special coaching one. It has just extra coaching elements to it. And then I have one in April, which I have 2 spots left for as well. And we have a lot of ladies on that one. It's not fully ladies, but it's ladies and men. And yeah, super stoked about it. It's gonna be a good one.
Awesome. And how would we find you? How would our listeners find you and your information?
If you want to check out any photos and past, I have a couple of my surf ranch times. A couple of my surf ranch posts on my Instagram, which is MJ Nutrition. And my website is marissajedell.com, where you can find my email. And yeah, feel free to let me know if you're interested in more details about coming to the surf ranch with us in February or April. And you will leave there a different surfer. And if you can't afford it, there are other ways to progress, and we are going to get after it this year. So keep in touch with both Yoniswell and myself, and it's going to be a surf retreat to remember.
Amazing. I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited to join one of these days. I will be sure to leave your information in the description below, so they'll hear you say where they can find you, but everyone will also be able to locate that on the description below. Is there anything else that you would like to share, Marissa, before we sign off?
Thanks, Jordan. You do such a good job with these podcasts. So I feel like we covered a nice bit of ground. If there's something that I know about teaching people stuff, is that you really can overdo teaching people. You can tell people too much at one time. So yeah, maybe that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Be sure to check out Marissa's Instagram, her website, and if you have any interest in joining her at the Surf Ranch, feel free to reach out. You can always message us if for some reason you can't find her. But everybody have a beautiful day. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you.